Yeah, Radakovich will call at 6:30. And again, if you guys have a question, have Jared text me. Let me know. Still wish we could come up with a texting program that would pop up. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You want me to close that door?
That's fine.
Okay, I don't want to bother anybody who's in deep thought. My words interfere with deep thought.
Just getting ready for soccer game out there. So.
Soccer? Who y'all playing?
Men are playing Davidson.
Men are playing Davidson.
7 o'clock. So
Okay.
it should be fun. I reminded the players, so we should be in good shape.
At Snyder Field.
Historic Snyder.
Historic. I sat there for many a game over the years. Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Brent, tell me again who you're bringing.
Offensive lineman Anton Warby. He's a big dude from Sweden, number 77.
From Sweden?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I think I've ever had a Swedish guy on the talk American football. Let's see here. Let me find it here in the roster. Here we go. Number 77?
Yep.
Here we go. Where are you? Here we go. Oh, look at all the depth chart. Okay, so offensive lineman Anton Warby.
Warby, yep.
Okay.
And then on the defensive side, John Patterson.
John Patterson.
Ford, Steve.
And John's from where?
Our fourth corner, and DJ Smith will be our fifth.
Okay.
I want to say somewhere.
Since his
No
departure,
problem.
kind of worked that way. Hey, football's
So
tough.
everybody to watch my line there. I'm the one that's been tripping over it. Brandon Butler or Brad Butler or Brandon. You got Brad and Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Or Brad and Brand.
Brad and Brandon.
Yeah, Brad and Brandon. Brandon Butler. Brandon Goodson. Where's Butler from?
Outside of Rome, Georgia.
Goodson.
Carolina Radio Network. Get your final word on sports all across the state. Be a part of it
Pretty hard.
at 800-956-726 or email talkback at sportstalksc.com. Now here are your hosts, Phil Kornbluth, Kevin McCrary, and Tom Hayes.
Since his departure, we've kind of worked that way. Hey, football's a tough game. It's tough. It's hard. If you don't like to practice and if you don't like to lift weights and do the things you ought to do, you'd be better off flipping burgers at the end of the day. It's a tough game. It's part of it.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome into Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network, as we are finally there. It is game week. Talking season has officially been put to bed. We can talk X's and O's. We can talk wins and losses, expectations, heartache, bad coaching decisions, great coaching moves, terrific plays, blunders, all of that. Finally. Back with us after a long off season. I don't know about you. I am pumped up, jacked up, fired up, and ready to go. Phil Kornbluth in Spartanburg at beautiful Wofford College. This is some beautiful campus that continues to grow, and they are making some great additions here with the new basketball arena named after Jerry Richardson being built just behind the football stadium and other new developments here on campus. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Coach Mike Ayers and a couple of Terriers will be with us after 7 o'clock. They're getting ready for their season opener on Thursday, not too far from Nashville. They'll be in Cookeville, Tennessee, to take on a Tennessee Tech. Will Muschamp today had his regular season press conference opener. Looking ahead to Vanderbilt, he dropped a bit of a bomb on everybody with the news that they projected either starter or a major contributor at cornerback, Rico McWilliams, is no longer with the Gamecock football team. No direct explanation was given, but in a comment shortly after announcing his departure, and you heard the comment, Muschamp alluded to the fact that they are only, keeping players that work hard, bust their tail, lift the weights, and do all that kind of stuff, leading one to think that that is the reason why McWilliams is there. Pretty surprising considering the fact that just on Friday, McWilliams was one of the players they brought up to be interviewed after practice. Who knew that something was developing behind the scenes? Also, Christian Owens, a freshman receiver, has left the program to transfer close to home. So 2 Gamecocks are gone. from the football program. K-Mac, Kevin McCrary, the professor, Tom Hayes, back in the studios in downtown Columbia, along with Jared Rogers Martin, becoming known far and wide as Jarmar as he travels the state of South Carolina, mostly by pedal, but now he does have a gas-powered machine that he rides around in too. So, guys, we're ready to rock and roll. K-Mac, I'm heading to Vandy here in a couple of days. You're going to see Clemson and Auburn. It's just great to be able to point towards a stadium and see some live game action.
Yeah, finally. We get to strap it on and see what's going to happen out there and get a lot of these questions and see where the season takes us, because every year it takes you in a direction that you didn't expect. I mean, we're sitting here a year ago, nobody was saying, I wonder if Steve Spurrier is going to make it to the end of this season. I wonder what Connor Mitch is going to be doing when he starts against Clemson for the first time. I mean, Connor Mitch wasn't even around at the end of the season. He was gone by game 2, by halftime, with an injury and never saw the field again. You just don't know how things are going to play out, what's going to happen, injuries and ebbs and turns and wackiness, and that's what I love about it. It's unscripted. We think we know everything. We look at the depth chart. We look at the players returning. We look at the schedules. We circle games that are toss-ups, but you just don't know what's going to happen on any given Saturday, on any given play, any given week, and that's what we all love about college football, and we're finally going to get that. We got our first little appetizer, and what a great appetizer it was Saturday night. I think the whole country was starving for college football. They got what they wanted in that game with Charleston Southern and North Dakota State. Unfortunately, the Bucks just couldn't quite finish it, but man, how could you not be proud of that effort with Jamie Chadwell and his crew going into the Fargo Dome and almost bringing the biggest upset of the college football season.
Well, the key point there is the fact that, again, it shows you the importance of special teams. I thought Charleston Southern at least had 2 makeable field goals there, and boy, they just missed it. He cut it a little bit too late right before they went into the overtime period. Charleston Southern could have been coming home with a North Dakota State scalp, and they just couldn't close. But they showed that they're a tough team. They could be back on that stage come playoff time.
No, I would think so. I would think so. They showed a lot of heart, a lot of determination. You play the #1 team in the country, 5-time defending national champion at their place, and you play them into overtime, and you have a chance to win on the game's final play. I know it was very disappointing to come with a loss, but now they'll go back and look at the video and break it all down to see where they made mistakes and where they need to improve. But they made a great accounting for themselves, and they led most of that game. The problem, of course, was they could not get much offense going consistently throughout the night. They did run the ball decently, 169 yards, but they didn't throw it particularly well. 8 of 20, only 263 total yards. North Dakota State at 424. So, but they hung in there despite all that. Had a chance to win on the game's final play. That ball, and it wasn't really close. I mean, it drifted off to the left a pretty good bit. They wouldn't have needed a plane to get back to South Carolina. They just flown back on emotions. But still a terrific showing standpoint of effort proving that they belong on the field. No doubt people, even though they're the 5th or 6th ranked team in the country, people are still having a hard time. I think putting their hands around Charleston Southern K-Mac. Just ask Matt Brown. I'm not sure if he knew which team was playing North Dakota State.
Yeah, he was trying to turn them into Georgia Southern a few times in that broadcast. So, yeah, Matt Brown was not quite in midseason form, but that was a great college football game, and it went to overtime and a 50-yard field goal. The Bucks they had their chances to win that thing, but they took some shots and bounced back. They were down in the second half and rallied and had a lead. You got to really like what Jamie Chadwell is doing. And if you're Charleston Southern, you better start raising money, doing whatever you can do, back up a Brinks truck, because it's a great thing for you to get that kind of exposure for your school and to play on that kind of stage, because they're on the big ESPN flagship. Everybody's starving for football, so there were a lot of eyes watching that game, and I'm sure there were a lot of ADs out there at some bigger schools going, man, that Jamie Chadwell. And his post game, he got emotional. I mean, talking about his team and how proud he was. yeah, Jamie Chadwell just popped up on a lot of AD's radars. So if you're Charleston Southern, you better promise him the moon, start moving dirt around, even if you're not building anything, and say, well, that's where your new coaches' offices are going to be, and that's going to be the new locker room, and that's going to be the new player development center, whatever you have to do to keep him in Charleston as long as you can.
Yeah, they're doing that. I mean, they have done what they can. I mean, they are somewhat limited. They do have new artificial surface in their stadium. They are building some new buildings for them, things of that nature.
But it would be tough. It would be tough. Just like it was tough to keep Mike Houston at the Citadel after 2 years. James Madison, they upped the ante about $100,000 for him. I don't think Charleston Southern can get in a bidding war with
a bigger program that wants to come after the coach. But for the time being, that's a conversation for another day. The Buccaneers should enjoy their man and look forward to some wins. Now they do have Florida State coming up in a couple of weeks, so that probably won't be real pretty, but we'll see. You never know what's going to happen. All right, now coming up, comments from Will Muschamp from his press conference. Also, we have Dan Radakovich, Clemson Athletics Director, and again, a member of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. He's coming up, joining us here at the bottom of the hour. Recruiting, of course, a big commitment for South Carolina on Saturday from Jamias Williams, the cornerback out of Georgia. That seems to be a guy that the experts believe is going to be a sensation in college. That's a good pickup for South Carolina. If they can hold on to him, I know he said all the right things, but he also said he's going to take his officials. And he does live in Athens. And he's been a Georgia fan, his entire life. South Carolina's been able to get him because of his very strong relationship with Muschamp and with Travaris Robinson. So they should still continue to recruit him very hard to make sure they can hold on to him. So we have all that coming up for you, a full recruiting report. The Wofford guys will be here in hour number 2. Mick Mixon, Monday Night Football chat with the voice of the Panthers. We got a lot for you tonight on Sports Talk. We'll also squeeze in some calls as you tell us what you think is going to happen Thursday and Saturday. We'll be right back. All right, how's everything? Yes.
How you doing, Big Daddy, man? Good to see you. Come on, what you got in here? Come on into the Cam Newton corn. Yes, right here. Cam has better snacks than you do, though. He does, I'm sure. Oh, yeah. He also makes about $800 million more. Oh, no, you're right up there.
Thank you. I forgot about that.
You're in his income bracket. Am I right there? You're right there. Yeah. The only thing that we would have in common would be a decimal point. Somewhere on the check, there would be a decimal point. Yeah, a decimal point. How you been? Good. How's things? Good. Just, been traveling the state, doing my little thing. This is the 9th of 10. I'm doing everybody this year. I did, of course, I did the regulars, all the established programs, the traditional programs, and then we did Benedict's. Good. And we did Benedict's. Gonna do Limestone. Oh, in North Greenville. Yeah. So I've had a blast with it. It's I don't mind football season. Once you get past September. Because just the heat, yeah. Oh, I'm football now. And getting into the routine of everything. It's just hot. I mean, I feel obligated to be there and be out of practice. And I feel obligated to be on the field for a small amount of time. Yeah. And Ole Miss, I don't know that I really want to spend a lot of time down on that field. It's going to be hot. I want to spend some time up on that where it's air conditioned. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be hot in Cookeville. Yeah, hot and humid. Yeah, and Cookeville's not going to have any place for me. Mm-hmm. So you'll be on the sideline? I'll sit in the stands. It's night game. Yeah. If I can sit down and it's out of the sun, but Phil, I told them we're playing Presbyterian again. Yeah. But Mark said, should we schedule Presbyterian again? I said, hell no. I played them on September 1. it was 186 with a heat index higher than that. Yeah. In the sun, they didn't have lights. This is over there. Yeah. I'm like, no, never. They got lights, so we're playing. When y'all gonna play? 17. Next year. Yeah, 17. Okay. So, and the same thing with. Well, that's an old traditional rivalry. Oh yeah. But I just told them, I said, I don't care how old, how traditional. It's too damn hot. Yeah. So they get lights. I ain't going back. Right. Or I'm gonna play in November. Right. And they couldn't play in November. Right. I'm telling people, just it's gonna be toast time.
Even though what we do is wrong.
Okay, we're back. Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network. Phil Kornblut at Wofford. The Palmetto Pigskin Tour winding down. One stop tonight here at Wofford. Over to Clemson tomorrow for the Dabo Swinney regular press conference. He did have a conference call yesterday. And then tomorrow night over at Limestone College. As we make our first stop at Limestone, that will complete the 10-stop tour. We will have hit every school in the state that plays football here in South Carolina. That, of course, includes our many stops at Clemson and South Carolina throughout camp in terms of covering those two. So we will have covered everybody. Also coming up tonight, a preview of the Miami Hurricanes. They had a bad weekend. They had to boot a couple of guys off the team. It was a tough weekend in many ways, man. Connor Shaw getting hurt. Tony Romo getting hurt. In all seriousness, I don't want to, much as I despise the Cowboys, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I mean, I want to see them lose because they're poorly run, they're poorly organized, they're poorly coached, all of that, not because somebody gets hurt. So I hate it for Romo. Just can't stay healthy. If there's anybody in pro football who should give it up, it's Tony Romo.
Now, he might be thinking about that now. We'll see what Dak Prescott can do.
Yeah, number 4 may make him give it up. I know it's preseason, but that kid has tremendous poise. You know, when he get through his personal life and having a mother dying, it just seems nothing shakes him.
Yeah, he was very good at Mississippi State. If you're a player from South Carolina or with South Carolina ties, this was like a weekend where you were telling your coach, don't put me in. I think I'm okay. I mean, Connor Shaw with that horrific broken leg, just above his ankle on his left leg, and that's probably going to cost him his season. 2 years in a row, he's gotten hurt in the preseason. Rock Hill native Ben Watson ruptured his Achilles. He's done for the year. Former Gamecock Rams wide receiver, rookie Pharaoh Cooper injured his shoulder, made a spectacular catch, injured his shoulder. Doesn't look like he's going to play in the Rams opener. He had won the number 3 wide receiver job. Somerville native and Bengal star A.J. Green had a knee injury. Doesn't look like it's serious, but that scared people for a while. And then to add insult to injury, former USC quarterback Dylan Thompson was cut by the 49ers Sunday, and former Gamecock tight end Busta Anderson. Yeah, by the Rams. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was already cut by the 49ers, but cut by the Rams, and Busta Anderson was also waived. Yeah, I'm thinking of the other 49ers quarterback that was in the news. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. I don't even want to go there with that.
Don't even remember it. Yeah.
Don't even want to waste my time. All right, Will Muschamp today had his regular season conference opener. Also released the depth chart for the Vanderbilt game. Quick, let's run through it on offense. At wide receiver, just give you we'll give you the top 2. Debo Samuel and Chavis Dawkins at one spot, Jamari Smith and Corey Banks, and then Brian Edwards and Terry Gujar or Rodriguez Davis. The left tackle, Mason Zandy and Malik Young. At guard, Zach Bailey and Alan Knott. Center, Corey Helms and Knott. Right guard, Donnell Stanley and DJ Park. And at right tackle, DJ Park and Blake Camper. The tight end, Hayden Hurst and Casey Crosby. No starter named at quarterback, Orth, McElwain, or Bentley all mentioned. A.J. Turner clear number 1 running back. David Williams or Rod Talley backing up. On defense, defensive end, Marquavius Lewis, backed up by DJ Wanham or Shamik Blackshear. Defensive tackle, Taylor Stallworth, backed up by Kier Thomas. The other tackle, Kelsey Griffin, backed up by Ulrich Jones. The other end, Dante Sawyer, backed up by Darius English. The Sam linebacker is TJ Holloman or Chris Moody. The Mike linebacker is Jonathan Walton or TJ Holloman. The Will linebacker is Bryson Allen Williams or TJ Holloman. They're going to slice TJ Holloman up and use him all around. Cornerback, Rashad Fenton, was going to be backed up by Rico McWilliams. I mean, this thing with Rico McWilliams must have just happened recently because they have him in the depth chart that was printed and handed out today. So he was going to be the backup at one spot. Now that will be Jamarcus King probably sliding up in there. Chris Lamons and Jamarcus King on the other side, or you might see the other junior college transfer who just recently came in as that other backup. Montac, yeah. The safeties, DJ Smith, Jordan Diggs, and Chaz Elder and Montac backing up there. The nickel, Diggs and Fenton. The kicker is Fry. The punter is Kelly. Long snapper is Williams. Kick returner is Turner. Punt returner is Fenton. And the holder is Kelly. With that said, Muschamp, more from him from his press conference looking ahead to Vanderbilt. Here's Muschamp.
We are excited about opening up Thursday night on ESPN in Nashville against Vanderbilt, SEC East opponent. Derek Mason's in his 3rd year, acts as his own defensive coordinator, does a fantastic job with their defense. Zach Cunningham's a guy that jumps out at you when you watch the tape. But, you watch them play. They're fundamentally sound. They're in the right spots. They have the good run box numbers. Derek just does a really good job fundamentally with their guys. They play extremely hard. They play well on defense. They've got 10 starters back. So they've obviously pretty seasoned in what they're trying to do schematically. Offensively, Andy Ludwig's our offensive coordinator. Interesting background, was more of a spread guy at Oregon and Utah, was more of ground and pound at Wisconsin, and now sort of a combination looking at them, what they do schematically. At Vanderbilt, they got 7 starters back. Obviously, Ralph Webb's a 1,000-yard rusher a year ago and an outstanding player. Shermer's the quarterback, started 5 games from last year and seems very adept at what they do. New coordinator on special teams, a little uncertain about what exactly they'll be there. So as all first ball games, you kind of go in expecting anything and making sure your players are able to adjust to all the different things that pop up throughout the game, because there's going to be some new things and you got to be able to adjust as the game goes, and that's going to be really important, especially us. There's a lot of firsts for our football staff, a lot of youth and inexperience, but excited about the work ethic and how our guys have approached camp. We started on Vanderbilt Prep last Thursday and practice again this morning. We'll have another practice and a walkthrough on Wednesday, and then we'll fly up to Nashville. Roster news, Christian Owens has decided to transfer. He came to me last week and felt like he wanted to get closer to home, so I totally understand and support that. Rico McWilliams has decided to give up football, and it's an unfortunate situation, but that's what it is. We move forward, and looking forward to getting up to Nashville and playing there. We do have some injuries. Lorenz Bryant obviously still going to be out with a while with a hamstring, Mon Denson with the knee, and Rico Dowdle with the groin. Kyle Markway will be out this week. I'm hoping to get him back next week for Mississippi State. With the foot. We had obviously the surgery in the off season, and hopefully we'll get him back. And other than that, we're very healthy. I open up for any questions.
Questions, please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you, Dave.
Will, you mentioned all the new faces. Do you look at this game and this season as kind of a blank slate to really experiment and do a lot of things that you could do?
Well, I don't know that, the word experiment, what I would use. We've put the guys through a tough camp, a very physical camp. We need to put the best 11 out there to give us an opportunity to win games, and that's what we're going to do.
Josh.
When will you tell the quarterbacks who's starting, or have you told them?
Well, we haven't told them anything, Josh, at this point. And, Rope and I were going to meet. We practice in the morning, so we haven't had a chance to meet since the morning practice. And we have another opportunity to practice again tomorrow, and we'll discuss that further as we go.
So have you guys made up your mind and just haven't told them yet, or are you still finalizing your decision?
We're still finalizing the decision right now. We've got a pretty good idea where we're headed with it. We just want to, obviously, as many practice opportunities as we can give these guys the best.
Have you nailed down whether or not two guys will play yet?
Two guys will play, sure.
Two guys.
Feel that way.
Rico's departure, was that related to his earlier absence from the team, and what does his loss mean to your secondary?
Well, yeah, it did relate to the earlier, situation, but we got 4 scholarship corners. 3 of them, Rashad Fenton, Chris Lamons, and Jamarcus King are good players and guys we're excited about. It's not the best situation, but it is what it is. You're not going to hear us complaining about it. So we'll move forward. Stephen Montague would be our 4th corner, and DJ Smith would be our 5th. And so since his departure, we've kind of worked that way. Hey, football's a tough game. It's tough. It's hard. If you don't like to practice and if you don't like to lift weights and do the things you ought to do, you'd be better off flipping burgers at the end of the day. It's a tough game. It's part of it.
Woo, woo. All right, you know what? That Spurrier right. That's as good as anything Spurrier could dish out.
Yeah.
If you don't like doing it, you should be flipping burgers somewhere. So, hey, Muschamp obviously wasn't happy with what McWilliams was doing in some form or fashion. We'll be back in just a moment. Dan Radakovich coming up. We are back, Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network. Great to have you with us. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you got your last bit of rest in, because there's no resting now, people. It is pedal to the metal. Football season is here. Several teams in the state cranking it up on Thursday, others on Saturday, including Clemson at Auburn, and what should be just a dynamic college football game. Let's welcome in to Sports Talk, first time for this academic year, Clemson Athletic Director Dan Radakovich. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm great, Phil. How are you?
We are terrific. We appreciate you being with us. I watched the video of your press conference on Friday, and the thing that struck me, and tell me if I'm wrong, you just seem like a guy who is very content, pleased, maybe kind of satisfied with the way things are at Clemson, with the success of the football program, other successes in your program, the way the construction has gone, the new things you have built and what you are building. Am I reading you correctly when I say that?
Well, I may have looked satisfied on Friday. I think that we continue to strive to get better each and every day. Phil, I know that's a little bit of a cliche, but that's one of the things that we've tried to do ever since getting here and having the team in place, and certainly a lot of good pieces here, Coach Sweeney, Coach Brownell. It's just something, a mindset that we just want to get a little better every day and continue to build the program. We've had some successes, absolutely. We've had great support from our fans in buying tickets, IPTAY and raising money. We've had great support from our board of trustees and our president. But we need to continue to move ahead and get better, because the competition, the teams in the ACC, in whatever sport you want to name, continue to keep getting better. We've got to make sure that we stay ahead of the pace.
So as we look ahead to this football season around Clemson, what will be different as the fans come in for the games? What things have you had to do? You mentioned some parking issues that you had to address. Besides that, what other things will be new for the fans?
Well, I think that we had a lot of things new last year, with the bridge, Oculus project that was completed, as well as the new club area and the redo of the suites. We've upgraded a few of the restrooms in the lower part of the stadium. We have a new field, brand new turf on Memorial Stadium. We continue to try to make it incredibly entertaining off of our video board. So as it relates to a lot of new things for 2016, there won't be as many as there were in 2015, but really the thing that we try to do each and every time that we have an event at Memorial Stadium is to make the experience great for the people who come out and watch us play.
With the success you had last year, do you think your fan base has reached the point where some others are, like your Alabamas, Oklahomas, Ohio States, to where when you have that season, when you're not going to play for the national championship, it's a bust?
I don't think
reached
so.
that
I think
point?
that it's been a great building process. The last 5 years, we've seen continued success within our football program. Certainly the future looks very, very bright. I think people enjoy our style of play, and the young men that wear the orange and purple for us. I think our fans understand that there are, that there's the ball bounces in funny ways sometimes, but knowing that our guys give great effort, they're great ambassadors for our institution. I think they're proud each and every day to call these young men who play football for Clemson, Clemson Tigers.
So even when you come across that year when there's a couple of losses, you believe the Tiger fans will still support, will still go to the bowl game, and the team. The part I was thinking about too, the team, the mindset will be to, continue to try to make something out of that season.
Well, I think that Coach Sweeney does a great job with that, making sure that each and every day the student athletes are playing, to their best potential. So I certainly think so. I think we've got a very good fan base here, and over the years they've traveled incredibly well to road games, bowl games, certainly championship games. We get a tremendous following. So I look for things to stay incredibly positive here.
Talking with Dan Radakovich, athletics director at Clemson. The Tigers about to head over to Auburn to take on those Tigers on Saturday night. The new building that is under construction and making great progress, all the new bells and whistles and wrinkles you're putting in that thing. What do you expect that to mean in recruiting and other aspects to the football program, the guys that have come through the program, the guys that will come through the program? What do you foresee that building meaning in the years to come?
I think it'll certainly be something that's very positive for recruiting, but that's, the building is just a piece of it. It still boils down to people, making sure that, our coaching staff continues to, as they have for years now, go out and bring quality young men into our football program. We looked at that building as a way to maximize the efficiency of our student athletes' time, as well as being able to make sure that the camaraderie that they build together as young men, as a team, has a great opportunity to grow. Student athletes right now have a tremendous amount of demand on their time. And we wanted to make sure that when they did have that relaxation period, that they'll be able to do it together, and they'll be able to do it in a really great facility that was built with those types of things in mind: the efficiency of their meeting time, their training time, their rehab time, all their practice time, all of those things together within a very, very short distance will all be there for them to be able to be the best that they can be, both athletically and academically.
All right, now to Little John. The feedback I've heard from people who've been in there, they say it's awesome. What would you say? How would you describe it at this point?
Well, I think that one of the things we tried to do, it's right for Clemson, and I think that's probably the thing that we try to do with all of our facilities. We've created a really nice club area for our Coliseum Club. We're moving our students to the side of the court, which is where they can most effectively impact the game. We didn't move the court, we didn't move the upper deck, but we certainly did all new seats in the upper deck, lower deck to create some really great viewing angles, new Wi-Fi connectivity within the building, nice scoreboard and sound system, and the concourses have been redone to kind of really tell a little bit about the history of Clemson basketball, and also make sure that it is a good building to be used not only on basketball game days, but for other events as well.
Mm-hmm. Did you give the media new comfy seats as well?
We did. I mean, you guys are going to have great seats. I think that the media will really enjoy the angle and the view that they get from their seats at Little John Coliseum.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. At Georgia Tech, it's a great view for the media. I don't know if this is going to be relative to what you did at Georgia Tech, but that's a very good view in that Georgia Tech building.
Actually, it's a little closer to mid-court than even in Atlanta, so I think you guys will enjoy it.
How close are you to being finished?
We should get the certificate of occupancy near the end of the month of September. So we'll be looking to move our basketball coaches, men and women, into their office about that time. Our contractor has done, and our university has done great work with us, allowing some practice time for both our men's and women's basketball teams on the main floor right now. So that's a real help to Coach Brownell and Coach Smith, and our student athletes as well, being able to, while they are not inside their locker rooms yet, that'll happen a little later in September, they're getting a good opportunity to begin to practice on the game floor.
Excellent, excellent. Are you in a position we can hold you over for just a couple of minutes, or you got to go?
I'm good, so I'll hold on.
Talk about the committee, because you just was out there. You were just out there last week, so I want to touch base with you on that. We'll be back a couple more minutes with Dan Radakovich here on Sports Talk. We are back at Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network. Phil Kornblut at Wofford on the Palmetto Pigskin Tour. The Terriers will be here after the top of the hour, visiting for a couple of more minutes with Clemson Athletics Director Dan Radakovich, and then somebody who really outshines them a little bit on that campus, a guy named Deshaun Watson. We'll hear from him. You don't mind taking a back seat to him, do you?
Oh, goodness, no. Deshaun's outstanding.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Have you, in all your years of being in intercollegiate athletics, you've seen a lot of great players from coast to coast, people. Where do you put Deshaun on your list of all-time great players / people that you have worked with?
You know, when I was in Atlanta, I never thought that I'd come across a student athlete like Calvin Johnson. You know, just an incredible young man, wonderful family, had his priorities all pulled together. And then I met Deshaun, and I really have to say the way he has conducted himself under just an incredible amount of media scrutiny, as well as the production that he's been able to put out on the field, and his graduate in 3 years, it's just amazing. My hat's off to Deshaun. He's just a outstanding human being and a tremendous football player as well.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, he is the face of college football going into this season, right? You would agree with that? He is the talk?
Oh, I would definitely agree with that. The amount of coverage and opportunities that Deshaun has had to deal with the national media has just been incredible, and he's handled them all just incredibly. He's a wonderful representative for the school and for himself.
You know, it's a long way to December. A lot of things can happen. He is the Heisman front runner going into the season. We'll see what happens. But for you as the athletic director at Clemson, what would having a Heisman Trophy winner and a Heisman Trophy in your trophy case, what would that mean to Clemson?
Well, I think it would be just further validation of the really solid foundation that Coach Sweeney has pulled together, and an affirmation he has brought in just incredible student athletes over the last few years, and it would be a tremendous honor for Deshaun that we would all look forward in sharing it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We'll see if he can get off on the right foot on Saturday. All right, very quickly, you were out in Dallas the end of last week for a meeting of the selection committee. You guys getting together, and of course, this is your third time around on this, so you're an old hat at it. So anything new from the standpoint of y'all's approach to selecting the teams this time around?
Not really. I think that we just went through and went back through our protocols and the things that are important to us. Really did a lot of work in bringing in the 3 new members, Jeff Bauer, Herb Duramity, and Rob Mullins, so that they feel comfortable going through the selection process. Got our committee, our conference assignments that we are the point persons for. So it was a good meeting, just one where we kind of started from scratch and went through and reinstalled the way that we go through and do things beginning at the end of October.
Did you guys kind of look back on 2015, look at the playoffs, the 4 teams that were in there, and kind of, I don't know if you pat yourself on the back, but kind of have a feeling of satisfaction that, yeah, we really got it right last year. We got the right teams in the playoffs.
Well, we had a little debriefing call back in January after the playoffs were completed, and so any backslapping was done there. We were pretty happy that the games were great, and the championship game certainly felt like a championship game. So from that perspective, we did a good job, but you know, that's kind of old news. We have a new season in front of us, new challenges ahead, and a lot of great football, a lot of great college football ahead, and we're really looking forward to a great season.
And you feel good now about getting the semifinals off of New Year's Eve and you know, getting away from a time period where, you know, a lot of folks aren't going to be watching football?
Well, as the selection committee, we really had no skin in that. You know, that was done by the management group, the commissioners, the presidents who are on that management group. But certainly Bill Hancock, the executive director, kind of updated us on what the thought process was, how they went through their analysis of it with our television partner ESPN. And personally, I think it was a great move and one that I think will be really positive for the fans of college football.
All right, sir. Dan, thank you as always. We appreciate it. Have a great football season. We'll be talking to you again.
Thanks, Phil. Take care.
Thank you very much. Dan Radakovich, Athletics Director at Clemson, joining us here on Sports Talk. And speaking of the Tigers, Deshaun Watson met with the media today at Clemson. They have players on Monday and Dabo and Venables on Tuesday and more players. So Deshaun meets with the guys up there on Monday. Let's listen in to what he had to say about making the transition from camp and practice and getting into that mindset for the game opener at Auburn.
Nah, because, in reality, I don't really care what other people think about me. I have my own expectations, and I know what I can do, and I know what I can't do, and my teammates know that too. So at the end of the day, people are going to have, their own opinions. People are going to, hate, be jealous. People are going to like me. People are not. I just do what I got to do, have fun, playing football, and just enjoy it with my teammates. So, there's no pressure for me or this team. We just do what we do.
One of your mentors and a close friend, you watched that 2010 game between Clemson and Auburn, the overtime game live, back in time. It's kind of surreal for you now that you're going to be going into that same environment.
No, honestly, I can't remember if I watched it or not. But man, of course I visit Auburn during the recruiting process, and I know how that stadium is, and how their fans are. Of course, it's gonna be a hostile first game, and it's a big time matchup, on prime time. So it's no surprise that it's gonna be loud and real crazy. But we're gonna enjoy it. It's nothing we haven't seen before.
You mentioned your own expectations. How do you feel that you performed in camp? Do you think you're going into week one ready to positively?
Yeah, I feel comfortable. I'm confident. I feel like we prepare very well. I feel like I prepared very well, and the preparation still isn't done. I don't want to be ready right now. I don't want to be ready by Friday. Whenever 8:05 hit, in Auburn, Alabama, that's when me and my teammates going to be ready. We can't play the game right now. We just got to continue to prepare and make sure we channel all the energy and then release whenever kickoff starts.
How do you prepare mentally when you're going against the defense first game?
All right, some Deshaun Watson from today, his meeting with the media up at Clemson. And he will be certainly the guy in the brightest spotlight in all of college football, along with some other guys. Leonard Fournette, of course, at LSU, McCaffrey at Stanford, maybe Josh Rosen at UCLA is getting a lot of hype on the West Coast. But Watson will have that chance to, with a great performance and a win at Auburn, he'll have a chance to really sprint to an early lead for that Heisman in that Heisman Trophy race, guys. And I think if you're Auburn, you want to come out, you want to try and stuff the Clemson run if you can up the middle, try and contain Gallman, win that line of scrimmage there, and see if you can force Watson into trying to run and make some throws on the run and keep him uncomfortable if you can do that.
It's very interesting how when you take the run away, even if you have an exceptional passer, one dimension is gone, and it seems the defense plays better. And but that's a tough task because let's face it, sometimes the best running back that Clemson has is number 4 when he can't find anybody open.
Yeah, ain't no doubt about that. When that secondary starts breaking down and running down the field with those receivers, it opens up a lot of room for Watson. That's something I'm sure that Auburn has worked on very much here in the preseason. Okay, Wofford folks coming up, second hour. Be right back.
talented players in those unknowns. When I first got to campus, I met with every player.
Gear up for Sports Talk. Live from Columbia, this is Sports Talk on the South Carolina Radio Network. Be a part of tonight's show. Call us at 800-956-7266 or email talkback@sportstalksc.com. Now, here are your hosts for Sports Talk, Phil Kornbluth, Kevin McCrary, and Tom Hayes.
Okay, we're back at Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network on the Palmetto Pigskin Tour. Our stop tonight at lovely Wofford College. Beautiful, beautiful place. Getting better by year. Coach Mike Ayers joining us now. The Terriers worked out this afternoon. I saw him as I came in. Boy, it was hot and steamy out there. How'd you guys do?
Did well. We've had a lot of days that were hot and steamy, but our kids most of them trained here this past summer. They got acclimated to the heat. Coach Mettler did a great job of getting our guys in shape, and they've worked hard for us. So they've done an excellent job, and we've been, I think, as productive this year as we've ever been, as far as the preparation, as far as young guys learning the system. There's going to be several freshmen that are going to play for us, and that's a good thing. You look at the guys that we have coming back. I think they're all in better shape. I think they're all hungry, and they're all positive. They look forward to Thursday and finally hitting someone other than their teammate.
Absolutely. Now, you had a great camp, but you did lose the quarterback that was supposed to be your starter.
Right.
And that, I mean, you just had a little bit of a snake bit situation there in recent years. So how are you handling that at this point?
Well, it's always tough when you lose a player, whether he's your starting quarterback or the last guy on the depth chart. You have a guy that's done a great job for us, and he had a good year last year. Made strides during spring ball. Had done really well in spring ball, and things were looking up. We have 2 scrimmages in preseason. We'll have one where we start, and it's basically just getting used to going full speed. Defensive linemen having to deal with cut blocks, scoop blocks, or whatever you want to call it, and then blocking on the perimeter full speed. And the second game is more structured towards a Tennessee Tech defense, offense, that kind of thing. And the play that was run, he's run it hundreds of times, and he stuck his foot in the ground and went north and got in the seam and tried to make another cut, and it just went on him. You hate it, but it's just part of just bad luck, I guess.
Sure.
We have 2 guys behind him that are have had reps under fire, and 2 guys that I feel that are ready to play no matter which one it is. Those 2 are 2 more. One's a true freshman that shows a great deal of promise. So we have, I think that it is truly a team. I think guys are pulling for one another. We do our best to practice hard, but practice smart against each other, and each guy's trying to help the other guy. And I just like where our temperament is, where our attitude is, and where our effort is.
Who's going to be that guy in the backfield along with your quarterback? Do you see one guy emerging? Is it going to be Will Gay? Is it going to be somebody else who you foresee being that horse?
Well,
we're looking for another Breitenstein to come down the mountain.
Well, we got one in Lorenzo, and Lorenzo's a guy that he's. If he stays on course and has the same type of season he had last year, he was almost 1,000-yard rusher. I think he can do much better, and that's his goal. We have him. We have Will Gay. We have Hunter Wyndham. We have a lot of good people, good fullbacks, good halfbacks. Chase Nelson played a bunch for us last year, and he was getting over a little injury, and he's back full speed. And we've got some true freshmen that have opened some eyes. And like I said, I love the way that we've been producing on the practice field. And as well as I, everybody wants to win a championship. It comes down to who's willing to work for a championship. And these guys, that's what they want. That's what they're willing to work for. And we're going to do our best to help them attain that.
On the defensive side, I'm looking at your 2 deep. Your linebackers look very good. We got John Patterson here. We'll talk to him in a little bit. But young man that jumps out at me, I remember him from recruiting last year, Datavius Wilson from Hartsville, I think it is. And he stepped right in here and won a starting job as a true freshman. Wow.
he's a unique guy. He has a great skill set. He has great size. He has lateral quickness. He has a football IQ that is outstanding, and that's afforded him this opportunity. When he's been in situations, he's proven that he can do it. And our rule has always been, ever since I got here, we're going to play the best 11. Doesn't matter your pedigree, whether you're a sophomore or a junior or senior or a freshman. And we've had guys that have been freshmen that have started, and not only at the linebacker position, but all positions. And Anton was one of those guys that started as a freshman. I think it was the second ball game or third ball game, fourth. Yeah. But he had been playing the whole time. Then he ended up being the starter. So we feel good about our defense. We feel good about the depth. Last year we got people in, quite frankly, reps and played too many reps. With the nature of the game, the way that it is, hurry up offenses, you can't feel the number of snaps defensively are in the 80s and 90s now. And back in the old days, if you were playing good defense, you might have been out there 50 snaps. And so we need that depth. We have depth that we feel like guys can compete and do the job. So we're excited.
You're 4 years removed from your last championship here going into this season. So I know you're getting antsy.
No, we've been antsy.
Is this team going to get you back?
I think this team has the ability to take us a great distance. And as coaches, we've got to do our job. The players do their job, and then ultimately it comes down to you got to have a little bit of luck. And if things fall the way that we would like for them to fall, then we'll have that shot.
Well, it starts on Thursday at Tennessee Tech, a team you never lost to. You're going to Cookeville, but hopefully things will go well. Real quick, got about 30 seconds or so. Brian Mance, how's he doing?
He's doing well. He's getting better. He's still coaching, and I say that he has a laptop, and we send him practice tapes and stuff like that. So he's working through his computer. Him and Sheil Wood, our new secondary coach, that they'll talk, and he'll have things that he might want to suggest, that kind of thing.
Hope to get him back real soon. Good luck on Thursday. Thanks for the visit, and we're going to chat with a couple of the Terrier players here coming up in just a moment. Thanks to Coach Mike Ayers here on Sports Talk. Be right back. And we're back at Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network, presented by South Carolina Soybean Farmers and their soybeans.org pork. Soy. We are on the Palmetto Pigskin Tour. Stop number 9 of 10 will be at Limestone tomorrow night to wrap things up. Then we'll be heading to Nashville for a USC and Vandy. On the way through, we'll go through Cookeville, Tennessee, and we'll see if we can do some damage to the team there. The Terriers don't need any help when they go to Tennessee Tech on Thursday night. Let's welcome in from the Terriers, Anton Warby, native of Lexington, big right tackle. He's from Lexington, but he's actually a native of Sweden, right?
Yes, sir.
How about that? I don't think I've ever talked to a Swedish football player. And from defense, linebacker John Patterson. Plano, Georgia. Well, it's good to have the two of you here with us on Sports Talk. And Anton, let's begin with you. How would you describe camp, wrapping things up, and now, focused on Tennessee Tech Thursday night?
Well, we ran a good camp this year. We mixed it up a bit from previous years with the way we're doing stuff, but we ran a good camp, ran a tough camp, and we're ready to go on Thursday.
It sounds like what Coach Ayers was saying. It sounds like it was a pretty tough camp this year, like they really got after you guys.
I mean, it's about work. That's why we're here. Get ready for the year, and yeah, it's been tough, but that's what we're here for.
Sure. Anything different out there? Every year Wofford, 300-something yards rushing per game. You're in the top 5 nationally and running the football with that offense. Anything different from your perspective?
We have more experience on the offensive side of the ball. Going to execute better this year, and hopefully a little more than 300 per game this year.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
How about throwing the ball a little bit better? Will you throw the ball more?
Probably not. That would be Coach Lang's decision. Either is fine with me. But as long as we can run the football well, we'll have a good season.
Sure. The loss of your starting quarterback and going with one of the other guys now, how did that affect you guys when that happened?
I hate it for Evan because it just serves as a reminder of how quickly something gets taken away from you. So I hate it for him. He's been working real hard, fifth-year senior, obviously. Knows the offense real well, runs it extremely well. But we have faith in the other two guys as well, so we'll be fine.
John, defensively, how well are you guys prepared for Tennessee Tech and what they're going to show you?
Very prepared. I think as a team is different because they have a lot of different coaching changes. Their head coaches from different places. So I think we've been trying to make sure that we are just focused and locked in on what we need to do and just focusing on our keys and just playing disciplined football.
Talking with Coach Ayers, and I said, looking at the linebackers, it looks like a strength. You guys have a lot of experience with the exception of Dontavius, who's a true freshman. Would you agree the linebackers might be the core of the defense?
Yeah, I would love to say that, especially that being my position group. Yeah. We're definitely very deep. I feel pretty good with everybody going in any situation. I think that's one thing that going into the season that we're really happy about is that we're able to have any two guys out there and we can have faith and have trust in them, know that they're where they're supposed to be. And I think that's really going to help us in our goal to play past, the season and into the postseason, just to be able to have guys that are fresh and be able to rotate and keep guys healthy.
What have the coaches harped on with you guys, both from spring, summer, and now in terms of what part of the defense did you have to improve in to get to where you want to go this year?
I think the two things that we talked about the most were discipline and effort. And those are things that that they've really put on us as leaders and us as upperclassmen to kind of instill into those young guys and really into ourselves is the effort is something that really can't be coached. It's non-negotiable. So running to the football, playing hard, playing fast. Wofford is definitely one of the teams that prides itself in toughness. So I think as a defense, we're really been taking that challenge full steam and just trying to make sure that in everything that we do, that we're playing fast, playing physical, and really just trying to take it to whoever it is that we're lined up across.
How about Dontavius and the fact that he has won a starting job as a true freshman? As you look over at him, how much do you have to help him? Do you have to help him very much, or is he, as Coach said, he's such a smart guy? Does he need a lot of help?
I think it's one thing about Dontavius that's really good is he's definitely picked up on it really well. He spent the whole summer here, so me and him got to talk about a lot of stuff before we got into camp, so I think that's been good for him. And I think we try to communicate with each other, but I definitely feel comfortable with him being next to me, and I know that I have a great season, so I'm excited for him.
Anton, now you played a year at Lexington High School for Scott Early, played for a state champion, got state semifinals. But you grew up in Sweden.
Yes, sir.
So how did you get into, what did you play in Sweden, and how did you get over to the football side, the real football side of things?
I played American football in Sweden.
American football in Sweden?
Sir. Yes, sir.
How was that?
Well, it's a small sport over there. It's growing by the day. I had a friend that played when I was in the 8th grade. He invited me to come along for practice, and it's been what I've done ever since.
What did you start out at position-wise?
Defensive end.
Defensive end.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. So when you were in Sweden playing American football, were you speaking English or were you speaking Swedish? How did you guys communicate?
That depends. With our teammates, and then a lot of teams have an American coach in some capacity, so you speak English with them most of the time.
So give me a play call in Swedish that you guys would run.
Oh, no, we run the plays in English.
You ran the plays in
English?
English?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Well, give me something in Swedish. I want to hear something. How would you say that's a touchdown catch?
Det där är en touchdown-fångning.
That's it, huh? That's a touchdown. Okay. How tough is it going up against this offensive line every day in practice?
They definitely are challenging us to be better. I think our defensive line and these guys are really going to be able to help us in terms of the season. Just when we're able to go one-on-ones, go live reps, we know that you have to play hard, you have to play fast to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You can get caught off guard and knocked over if you're not.
Every day facing the triple option when you guys line up and go good on good, 11 on 11. Every day seeing that. Does it give you nightmares or what?
No. I guess we get a little bit protected in practice, so they're not cutting us full. But I think it's good for us because we know that at some point in the season we're going to have to be really good at that. So
yeah. Anton, as you heard me say with Coach Ayer, it's been a little while since Wofford has been in the postseason and in the championship. Well, you've been in the hunt, but winning the championship. So he seems to think, you guys will have a chance to be there. What do you think?
I believe that too.
Yeah, based on what?
The fact that we're returning a lot of experience. I just think we're good enough to get it done this year. I think we've improved a lot over spring and summer and in camp. I think we'll be able to execute a level that's going to take.
Mm-hmm. And you've seen the dedication, the hard work in the offseason that lead you to believe this team has a championship caliber?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. John, how about you?
I think the confidence of our team, I think you can see our mentality is different. Our excitement about just going out there every day at practice, and sometimes things like that can be hard because you're doing it every day, and we know camp is hard and it's hot, but I think that as a team we've been able to really respond and push each other, and I'm really excited about Thursday, really to kick things off and just see all our hard work just come forward.
Well, I know you want to take care of business Thursday. Then you're going down to Ole Miss on September 10th. That's that's something to worry about down the road, but that's got to be, Anton, got to be pretty exciting for you.
Sure, I'm not too concerned with that right now.
Of course you're not. Of course you're. That's right. I know that. You can't look. Media can look ahead.
Sure.
But we're not. We're going to take it one game at a time. Tennessee Tech up first on the agenda, and then you'll deal with what's coming after that. We wish you the best of luck. Hope it's going to be a great year for you. Stay healthy, and I'd love to see Wofford back in the postseason. Going to be some great games along the way, though, and hope it goes well for you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. We appreciate it. Okay, that's the guys from here at Wofford, linebacker John Patterson and right tackle Anton Warby. Appreciate them coming out and joining us here on Sports Talk. And good luck to the Terriers as they go to Tennessee Tech on Thursday night, and we'll be right back.
see me now? Hello. Well, I see me. Let's do David Sheltonian here. And Mick is good for 45. Oh my goodness. That is a sin of all sins. No wonder this show has dropped in the ratings. We'll do that and then we'll do David. And I'm going to do a Founders Federal coming up, so you're going to want to record that. LT. They've been doing that here recently. I don't know why. Hey, welcome back into Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network. Bill Kornblut here at Wofford, just wrapping up with Coach Ayers and the players. Thanks to them. Thanks to Brent Williamson, the SID, for getting the guys to us here tonight, as well as the coach. Enjoyed it very much on the Colorado Pigskin Tour. Tomorrow night we'll be at Limestone after being over Clemson to begin the day with the Tigers press conference. David Shelton coming up in just a moment. Also, we got to get you the recruiting information for the night. My goodness, you're starving for that. We'll get to that in just a moment. I want to remind you, you can be a Wofford fan, you can be a Clemson fan, a USC fan, a fan of any team in our state. Everyone can agree on Founders Federal Credit Union with a convenient location at the Russell House on USC's campus, and now a new location. It's on Highway 93 in Clemson. It is open. Founders is a sure fan favorite. Visit relaxjoinfounders.com to see if you qualify for membership. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA. All right, the recruiting information for tonight, of course, on Saturday, USC got the commitment from defensive back Myas Williams, native of Athens, who goes to Grayson High School in Loganville. He was heavily recruited coast to coast, narrowed his list to Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, USC. And he just said his relationship with the staff at South Carolina, in particular Muschamp and Robinson, very important in his decision, and the chance to come into South Carolina and play right away and make a big impact on the program. Now, he did say that he's 95 to 100% committed. He did say he is going to take all his officials, he said, because he just wants to get out and experience the free visits. Did not say which schools he's going to visit. He also said he's going to turn to being a recruiter now, going to go after defensive back A.J. Terrell of Atlanta, who's a Clemson commitment. He becomes the 22nd commitment for USC's class. Defensive end Matthew Butler of Garner, North Carolina, will
announce between October 10 and 14. That's his off week. And the perfect time for him to make his decision known from USC, Duke, NC State, Tennessee, and Penn State. He plans to take officials to each of the finalists. He won't now nail down the dates until after September 1st, when the evaluation period begins. But he's looking at coming to USC for the Texas A&M weekend or the Georgia weekend. And he's in regular contact with all the coaches and the recruiters from the schools still on his list. In basketball, 6'6" Kyle Young of Massillon, Ohio, committed to Butler. Clemson was one of his offers. And in baseball, right-hander Cameron Reeves of Northwestern in the 2018 class announced a commitment to USC this afternoon. John Wilkes, the Big Spur, said that he picked the Gamecocks over Clemson, Coastal Carolina College of Charleston. He gives the Gamecocks 8 commitments in their 2018 class. There you go with recruiting here on Sports Talk, always available on our website, SportsTalkSC.com, and on Twitter, use the hashtag ST Recruiting. David Shelton of the High School Sports Report, and also from the Charleston Post-Courier joins us now here on Sports Talk after another big Friday night of high school football in South Carolina. High School Football Report, a service of Farm Bureau Insurance. With new auto insurance rates from Farm Bureau, you could be saving a whole lot of money, even if you received a quote before. Rates are now more competitive than ever. Get a free quote today from your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. All right, David, good to have you with us once again. And we were talking off air about some of the upsets, some of the big games from Friday night. Which ones kind of stood out to you?
Well, I don't know. I think Northwestern's win, getting that victory was big for them. I thought that Spartanburg being able to beat Hannah in overtime. Spartanburg has won 2 really close games they could have lost both games. They could be sitting 0-2 right now, then we'd really have something to talk about. But Northwestern beating Dorman was a must win for both those teams, and one of them got it and looked very good doing it. South Point continues to roll. Hartsville in 4A looks very, very strong. West Side continues to look strong early. Here in the Low Country, Kane Bay beat Goose Creek for the first time ever, and 2-0 start with a couple of wins, and that machine that is Fort Dorchester just continues to. It's almost like a video game when those guys play.
Yeah, I had another big win on Friday night. Obviously, Carry-On Joyner had another big day, and the transfer receiver from Colony County.
How good are they? You've seen a lot
of good offenses in the day. Offenses, in particular, those great offenses from Burns. Where do you put this one with some of the great offenses you've seen in recent years?
Well, I don't think they run the football exceptionally well. I think when Carry-On breaks down a play, he can get some rushing yardage, and he is their leading rusher right now with like 130 yards in 2 games. I don't know that they're as dynamic because they don't. Last year they had Datron James who rushed for about 1,600 yards, so they have that added dimension. But their receivers, when they line out there with 4 guys, and with that quarterback in shotgun formation, it's a scary proposition. You're just one of those damned if you do and damned if you don't in terms of blitz or try to drop and cover everything, because if you have a breakdown, and Carry-On's good at breaking down the play, and getting you out of position and then delivering the throw. But they're very good. I mean, they're gonna be hard to stop. They run into a team that, one, can run the football and control the clock on it a little bit. They just ran out of gas. And 2, I hope that Carry-On has a bad day, or you can cover all those receivers, because if you can't, he's going to find one of them, and they're all pretty good.
You pick up any other news notes from the games on Friday night? Any injuries of note? Anything else that cropped up from around the state?
No injuries. I think what I was the numbers that some kids are putting up around the state. I mean, quarterback at Rock Hill, Dre Robinson, had a phenomenal game against York. Baptist Hill quarterback Corey Fields, who's only a junior and probably one of the better athletes that nobody in this state has ever heard of, but he's a very good athlete, and he had like 550 total yards and 6 touchdowns, and seen some running backs with 270, 250 yards. So offense is definitely ahead of the defense in the early going. It's not defenses are way ahead, but I mean, we get stats on Friday night and all through the weekend on our emails, and just some of the team totals, you know, good Lord, 550 yards 10, 15 times. I mean, Hartsville rushes for 470 yards. It's really funny. I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny when you think about it, and it's mind-boggling the numbers that some of these teams can put up.
What about this coming Friday night? We got some great matchups to look forward to as far as you can tell.
I think the one that people will be having their eyes on the most is Dutch Fork at Fort Dorchester. I mean, I'm sure there's some other ones, but that's two teams that are ranked, I guess, 1 and 3 right now in the media poll, or 1 and 4. They're 2 top 3 or 4 teams, and not sure how good Dutch Fork is, because I think that win over Independence was a good win, but this will be a much bigger challenge. And I think Dutch Fork, on the other hand, will present some challenges for Dorchester in terms of what they can do offensively and keep the football a little bit and move it around. That looks like the marquee game of the week going into the Friday night.
Yeah, that Independent, not taking anything away from Dutch Fork, but I think Independence got shut out again this past Friday night. And they obviously are going through some turmoil with their coaching change right before the start of the season. David, as always, we thank you. Have a great week. Remind people to check out David's stuff, High School Sports Report, hssr.com, also in the Charleston Post and Courier. And we thank him for being a part of the Sports Talk team
during high school football season and sharing his insights with us.
Speaking of great insights, we got the voice of the Panthers, Mick Mixon, coming up around the corner. Any concern after the loss to the Patriots? Coming up. K-Mac, the iron versus iron quote comes from Proverbs 27:2017. Iron on iron. Iron sharpening iron. Purple. Is it working now? It's up our YouTube stream and everything, doesn't it? Did you reboot? Maybe you shouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. tell you, this unit is so quiet. I never know if I'm connected or not. Yeah. You don't have Mick yet? All right. He's standing by waiting for you. You calling him on, you got the right number to call him on? Okay, Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network here on a Monday night, kicking off the week into the kickoffs. USC Thursday night, Wofford on Thursday nights.
Presbyterian's playing on Thursday
night.
I think double check. I think the Citadel playing Mercer
Thursday night. That's Saturday.
Furman's playing on Friday at Michigan State. They're playing Thursday.
A lot of Thursdays in our future. This week, and then of course Clemson Auburn on Saturday.
Great way to cap it off on Saturday, and a big race on Sunday at Darlington. Just so much to look forward to this week here in South Carolina. We thank you for being with us here on Sports Talk and letting us be a part of your enjoyment in the sports world. In just a moment, we'll be joined by the voice of the Panthers, Mick Mixon. A couple of other notes to pass along to you.
Former Clemson linebacker Cavell
Connor was one of the cuts by the Baltimore
Ravens today.
And in his career, he's got over 300 tackles. He was a seventh-round draft choice by the Colts in 2010. And let's see, former Clemson offensive tackle Brandon Thomas was traded to the Lions for Jeremy Curley. All right. And let's see, K-Mac mentioned Dylan Thompson being released. USC announced that single-game football tickets for home games are now on sale to the general public.
You can get tickets for East Carolina for $45, Texas A&M for $90, UMass for $35. That's a bargain. Tennessee for $80. That's not. Missouri for $65. And Western Carolina for $35. So you can go to if you buy the Western Carolina and UMass games, that's $70. You go to two games versus going to say Texas A&M, which is $90. Two games for the price of one. The way I do my math. If you're interested. Also, the Texas A&M game will feature a special ticket promotion titled the Tailgate Pack. Four tickets, food vouchers. And one parking pass for $360. Plus, you can utilize new technology partner.
All right, K-Mac,
you'll have to help me with this one.
Is it FIVO?
Sure. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It allows fans to pay
separately and sit together to create a memorable experience
at Williams-Brice
Stadium.
Okay.
Of course, the only thing that's memorable is when you
pay. What does that allow you to do? Say that again. Pay separately.
You can pay separately and sit together
to create a memorable experience at Williams-Brice Stadium.
I'm not following. I mean, can't you? You couldn't do that before?
I'm just reading the release
from USC. You have a question, you call that.
Okay, I'll get right on that.
Let's go.
Let's go to Mick Mixon, the voice of the Panthers. He doesn't have to worry about buying. When's the last time you bought a ticket to a football game?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just glad that your show continues the long-standing tradition of eliminating more ignorance than it creates.
I'm not sure that's always the case. Hey, look, I know why you lost to the Patriots.
Any team that has a second-string quarterback like Tom Brady. I mean, they're tough to beat when you got a second stringer like that coming off the bench.
That's unfair. I mean, they look like they were all caffeined up when he got out there. I think who else can play two corn is NC State product Jacoby Brissett. I think, Garoppolo is going to have to get paid. He'll be a free agent. So who knows? Maybe Brissett will be the heir apparent. But, oh, boy, the Panthers had a hard time hanging on to the football, both on the offensive side and on the defensive side.
Yeah. Why do you think they had that issue?
I don't know. I've talked to some former players that say those things can be contagious on a team. I don't really see that there's any science behind that, but I think they were just concentration errors, not looking the ball in, not having your hands in the right place, letting the ball get in on your pads. But I think that it was a good test. I mean, all in all, it wasn't that kind of, oh boy, man, we're going to be good this year, kind of third preseason game that you want. But Cam Newton said after the game he was glad it happened because it tells everybody, hey, we're not that good and we need to work hard this week.
Yeah, do you think he's been
playing at such a high level for so long?
He didn't have a great game, 13 of 29, 100 yards. That's not his game. You think it sort of helped to kind of deflate some heads
there a little bit and kind of got guys refocused about, hey, we still have to work hard and
bring our
A game every time?
I think so. It's a good words, Corn. I think that's what the coaches are hoping, and that's kind of how they've tried to bridge a negative to a positive. The Panthers are already working on Denver. It's a quick turnaround. I think the Panthers might consider rolling the starters out on offense for a series if the Pittsburgh game weren't Thursday and if the Panthers didn't have to then fly Wednesday to Denver for another Thursday night game to open the season. As it is, it's just too fast to turn around. So the roster cuts will loom. This will be an important game on Thursday night because there are 2 or 3 that are still kind of for grabs right now.
Well, you picked yourself up a pretty good punter today, didn't you?
Andy Lee, former Brown, huge leg. Isn't he from the Palmetto State?
He is.
He went to West Oak High School, and he went from West Oak to the University of Pittsburgh.
See, now I know that was covered in the recruiting news in exhaustive detail. How did that all happen, though?
That would have been back in the early 2000s, I think.
Yeah, he's been around for a while, but he's I think it's kind of interesting because the Browns get Casey Redfern, the former Wofford Terrier, who's got a live leg also. The Panthers are a directional punting team, so it must just be that Andy Lee's got a pretty good, he can hit the fade or he can draw the ball, whether you want to be on the left side of the fairway or the right.
Yeah, I love that, the analogy to the fairway. All right, anything else in terms of cuts today? Anything catch your eye as being a little surprising?
Just the trade. I was a little surprised Miles Schuler did not survive the first round of cuts. The Panthers could bring him back on the practice squad. He's a little receiver from Northwestern, sociology major, and he just didn't really. He flashed early in camp and then just kind of plateaued.
Yeah. By the way, I saw the television show the other night with you and Zoki, and who's the third guy?
On the TV show, we have a guy on the Time Warner Cable show.
Yeah.
On the .com too, that's named John Halpin, Johnny Fantasy, we call him.
Okay. Yeah, you're aging much better than Zoki is. I'm telling you, just watching you on television. I don't know what that means, but just
Well, there's a compliment in there somewhere, and when we hang up, I'm going to try to find it.
You do that. Listen, have a great week. Busy time coming up. We thank you as always, and we'll talk to you next week.
You do your show all over, Furman games everywhere. Come see us this fall.
Could I do the Palmetto Pigskin Tour with the Panthers one time?
We'd love it. Yeah, we'll roll it. We'll send the limousine down for you.
Oh, now we're talking, baby.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Mick.
See you guys.
All right. Yeah, you know what? We should probably incorporate the Panthers into this thing.
Tell him to send the owner's Rolls Royce down to pick you up.
That'd be fine. I'll take that. All right. That's going to do it as we wrap things up. Thanks to everybody who was with us tonight. The folks here at Wofford were great. Looking forward to being at Limestone tomorrow. Coverage of a Talking Tuesday with Dabo. Guys, any final thoughts from you as we look ahead to this week?
2 more days after tonight. 2 more days. We're down to hours. I mean, we can start counting the hours down to South Carolina Vanderbilt now.
It's going to be an interesting season. I think we're going to see Football Lab 101 with South Carolina. I think they're going to do a lot of experimentation this year to find out who can play, who can't, and that's who Will Muschamp will ride with for the rest of the season.
I think he wants to win games, though. He's not going to experiment at the expense of trying to win a ball game because he has said, he's not interested in rebuilding. He's interested in winning some games, starting. We'll talk more moving forward, X's and O's and analyzing it. We've got our guests coming up this week. Our regular guests will be with us through the football season. You know who they are, and I know you'll be looking forward to hearing from them. All right, thanks to everybody back in the studio. Thank you, Jared, for a great job. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow night from Gaffney at Limestone. Well, it just works great. It's just so clean. All right, we'll do recruiting real quick and wrap this thing up. Oh, flip, I totally forgot. I would have gone to that. Oh, man. And that's where you got to holler at me and remind me because my mind gets scattered. That's where, you got to take control and say, hey, don't forget this. I just forgot. We'll have to squeeze in 2 here in one night. Maybe Thursday night would be a good night to run a couple since I got to send you pictures here too. We did that one time, I think a few years ago. We ran like 5 previews on Thursday night when the Gamecocks were playing. I'll send you these pictures. All right. You got your computer back working? Okay. All right.